Murderers don't always fit a stereotype. They often never present as strange or monstrous-like individuals. In reality, many killers integrate seamlessly into society, just like you and I. Guys, let's get into it. Today's story is on Jasmine Fiore, who was born on February 18th, 1981 in Santa Cruz, California, in a town called Dooney Boone. She grew up riding horses, super normal life, hung out with friends. She was very liked. No one had anything bad to say about her. Like, Jasmine is awesome. Like, everyone just thought she was great, right? So, and at 16, she started working at a local grocery store, quickly earning a reputation as just the sweet girl with a bright smile. And as Jasmine blossomed to a beautiful young woman, she caught the attention of modeling agents. Upon turning 18, she took a leap of faith and decided to move to fabulous Las Vegas to pursue a career in modeling. She did body painting. She engaged in also some adult modeling. And in the bustling city of dreams, she caught the eye of Playboy Scouts. So during this time, Playboy was like a big deal. If you were going to do anything in modeling, you needed to hook up with someone at Playboy. And I don't mean hook up like that, but I mean get connected, right? So that's what she was doing. And she ended up submitting her photos. And soon she was basically working for Playboy. She got a gig titled Girls of Golf, where she served as a coordinator. So with Playboy surging in popularity, like I just mentioned, Jasmine adopted the stage name Jasmine Fiore. And that was reflecting her newfound identity, her stage name. But despite her rising fame, she remained humble, she remained grounded, and she obtained her real estate license and invested her earnings. She was super smart. So she was not only a pretty face, but she also was brains, baby. She got beauty and she got brains. And beneath the glitz and glamour, Jasmine just wanted love, right? That's like what we all want. I don't know, at least me. I'm a hopeless romantic. So that's something I've always looked for. I totally could connect with the idea of that. She dated several prominent figures in the entertainment industry and eventually found herself married to a man named Michael. Unfortunately, he was incarcerated shortly after. And in 2005, she was also engaged with another fellow, and the engagement lasted only about a year. But true to her nature, she still remained friends with all her exes, and everyone just loved her. Like I said, she was the embodiment of kindness. Which brings us to our next person, Ryan Jenkins, originally from Canada. Ryan, who enjoyed a privileged upbringing and attended prestigious schools in Canada, was living in Las Vegas. He was making large strides in the real estate market development. And his aspirations, however, extended beyond business. He yearned for fame. He wanted to be famous, okay? And during this time, reality TV was just popping. Everybody was watching reality TV, and he thought, you know, I could maybe do that and become famous. And he saw an opportunity with VH1 on a show called Megan Wants to Be a Millionaire. It was a reality show that basically followed Megan around and waited for her to choose her ideal millionaire partner, much like The Bachelorette.
Megan had just met all 17 millionaires, and her unwavering sense of destiny led her to believe her future husband was inside the mansion. But
it was filmed in February 2009. Ryan managed to charm his way into the top 3 contestants. He playfully referred to himself as Prince Charming and embraced a persona of bad boy. Prince Charming and bad boy kind of don't go together, but I mean, it was working for him. That was his gimmick, I guess. I don't know. And Megan really liked him, seemed to be ready to choose him. However, the producers expressed their reluctance for him to win, leaning towards more of a good guy. So he wasn't really Prince Charming, was he? Because the producers were like, that this is not going to be the guy. And this was a common tale in scripted reality TV. Just so you know, very scripted. So they would control the plot, if you will. So despite the show's producers' preferences, Megan remained intrigued by Ryan. Just 3 days post-show, she reached out to him only to discover that Ryan had met someone else in Las Vegas, his soulmate, as he described her. Megan was shocked, y'all. I mean, he was just telling her that he was obsessed with her days before. Maybe he's a love bomber. Maybe he definitely was. That's what it sounds like. He moves on fast too. And that someone was Jasmine Fiore. They quickly fell for each other. They got married 2 days later at the iconic little white wedding chapel in Las Vegas. So I don't know if you guys have heard of that place, but Britney Spears got married there. J-Lo recently, before she got divorced, I think again. I don't know. She's had like 1,000 weddings. This chapel has seen a lot, okay? A lot of love and its fair share of chaos. However, mere months after their wedding, the fairy tale took a dark turn. Ryan was arrested for domestic violence after hitting Jasmine in the arm and throwing her into the pool after just a heated argument. And it seemed that they were having a lot of these at this point. Tensions ran high, especially when Jasmine spoke to her ex-boyfriend in a situation that fueled the jealousy. So they believe that it was because she was talking to her ex-boyfriends that he would just freak out and do things like this. Remember, she would still talk to everybody because she was just that nice of a person. There was never bad blood. Sometimes we break up, right? And you just don't want to deal with that person. And people just always assume that it's because something traumatic happened. It's not always like that. Sometimes people just break up and it doesn't work out and you move on, but sometimes you stay connected, and that's just the way she was. And in later interviews, Jasmine's mother described the relationship as toxic and dysfunctional. She noted that they fought frequently, and there were hints that Ryan might not be as financially stable as he might have led others to believe. Ryan's father, however, had a different perspective. He revealed that Jasmine had become Ryan's only friend after they moved full-time to California, because at this point they were living in Cali. I forgot to mention that. They moved from Vegas to California to just have this life together. And while he acknowledged that Jasmine had her own faults, citing instances where she would leave him for days at a time and lie about it, he painted a picture of a complicated relationship. So maybe Jasmine wasn't as kind as people thought she was. I don't know. But she would leave and then apparently lie about it, as per his father. But you know, parents tend to protect their children, so maybe he's lying for him. Jasmine's mother claimed in later interviews Jasmine had annulled the marriage, but I couldn't find any records to confirm that as a fact. So no one knows. So were they married? Were they not married? Did she annul it and Ryan didn't know? Like, can that happen? Can you annul a marriage and the other person not know about it? I don't think so. But I couldn't find anything on whether or not it was true or not. And it looked like just their parents were just defending their own children, which, I mean, I understand. I'm a parent, but yeah. Jasmine seemed mentally distant from the marriage already, and it seemed like she was contemplating a fresh start. Ryan wasn't a stranger to trouble either. He had faced a prior domestic violence charge with an ex-girlfriend in January 2007, which led to a probation and sex addiction counseling. Why can't I talk? Why can't I say sex addiction? So Jasmine didn't ever say anything about him being like addicted to sex, but I don't know if she actually knew that he had been prosecuted for anger issues and domestic violence before her. So maybe if she would have known this, she would have been like, peace, dude, we're not getting married, bye. Meanwhile, Ryan found himself filming a reality show called I Love Money in Mexico for 5 weeks, believing that winning the competition could win Jasmine back. So he was scared. He's like, I gotta get my girl back. and I got to get some money because I've been lying about that too. So in early August, Ryan emerged victorious in the competition, winning $250,000. You heard that. $250,000. And he was like, Jasmine, here you go, queen. Here's all the monies, because she was like, I'm over you. And you're a liar. And, you know, all the things. And she stayed. And I don't know if it was just the $250,000, but I mean, she was like, all right, we'll give it another try. And they attended a charity poker tournament at the Del Mar Hilton, checking into a hotel called Le Bourge du Mar. Completely butchered that. I'm sorry. And I took 2 years of French, and that is the best that I can do. So I'm so sorry to all my French people and my people who speak French, because I butchered that, but I'm trying my best. Anyway, moving on. That was in San Diego, if I didn't already mention that. Sources and witnesses say that Jasmine was being unusually rude to Ryan that night. And she was just dominating him and being so mean. And people were like, why are you being so mean? All the friends noted that, I mean, maybe she was just clearly fed up with him. And it's like, $250,000 is not enough for me to deal with your shit anymore. As the night went on, Ryan's demeanor changed. He grew increasingly angry and defensive, which, I mean, makes sense. She's like doing this the whole night. Now they're fighting, right? So eventually they left the event around 2 a.m. and headed to the Ivy Club Hotel. But what happened next, guys, is absolutely chilling. Hotel cameras captured Ryan returning to Le Bourge Hotel alone. And by early morning, he was seen leaving with his clothes in his hand. No suitcase. I mean, he brought a suitcase, but then he left without it. And without Jasmine. The suitcase they had checked in, mysteriously gone. It vanished. Bye-bye. Then Ryan goes back to Los Angeles. And still, I mean, we didn't see Jasmine leave with him, but we're going to assume that she's also there too. But on August 15, 2009, before 9 p.m., Ryan reported Jasmine missing. He claimed he last saw her at 8:30 p.m. when she left their home in Los Angeles and said she had to run some errands. Have to run some errands, bye. But she never returned. The following day, Ryan left for Nevada to pick up his speedboat. I'm sorry, what? Who does this? Like, if you're trying to not be suspicious, why would you be suspicious? Like, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. You're being suspicious. By August 17th, detectives reached out to Ryan because they had found a Jane Doe stuffed in a suitcase in Buena Park, California. Ryan told them he actually was in Utah en route to Canada for some kind of immigration issue. So, yeah, really weird timing, Ryan. Really weird timing. And tragically, guys, Ryan's missing wife was identified in the suitcase as Jasmine Fiore. And the only way authorities could confirm her identity, wait for this, guys, was because of her breast implants. In case you guys don't know, every implant comes with a serial number that can be traced back to the surgery. The reason why they could only identify her this way was because the person who had stuffed her in the suitcase removed her teeth. Well, her teeth had been destroyed and her fingertips had been removed. So this just heightens the horror of this whole situation. They also located her white Mercedes-Benz not too far from their home in Los Angeles, and the blood discovered inside was insane. It was very, very gory and particularly bloody. It was very alarming. Also, you guys, remember when Ryan was filming I Love Money in Mexico? So, check this out. Okay, so he was gone for 5 weeks, right? Jasmine's ex, Michael, remember the first guy she married? He was released from prison. Jasmine and Michael had an incredible connection. The only reason why they broke up is because he went to prison, and she's like, I can't be with no guy in prison, right? When they found Jasmine's body, they found Michael's bodily fluids inside of her. Jasmine, This raises some questions. If Jasmine confided in Ryan about this during their time in San Diego, it might explain their heated arguments, and maybe it explains why he killed her. Then, on August 20th, 2009, Ryan was charged with Jasmine Fiore's murder. On the very same day, a young blonde woman checked into the Thunderbolt Hotel in Hope, British Columbia, paying cash for her room while a man remained outside in a silver PT Cruiser. This woman turned out to be Ryan's half-sister. Some time went by, and when the couple didn't check out of the room, right, it's time. They have I feel like every hotel has such an early check-in. So I don't even know what time it was, but it was enough time where the manager was like, yo, we got to clean this room, right? And they hadn't checked out, and he tried calling the room, and there was no answer. So concerned, he goes and he knocks on the door, which received, again, no answer, no response. When he eventually opened the door, he discovered Ryan Jenkins dead. He had hanged himself with a belt from the closet. So the manager described the room as smelling like death and noted that Ryan appeared demonic. Can you imagine? Just walking in and you just see this guy just hanging. It's like, they don't pay me enough for this, right? Like, they don't, I'm sure they didn't pay him enough to see any of that. Later, investigators found a document on Ryan's laptop dated August 20th. And so that laptop was found near Ryan. So he's like, this is, I'm gonna kill myself and I'm going to make sure people read this, right? So he wanted this to be found. And it was titled Last Will and Testament. The half-hearted suicide note expressed love for Jasmine, but blamed her for their toxic relationship. He's like, I love her, but this is all her fault because supposedly she cheated on him with her exes and he just couldn't handle it. So while Ryan never actually confessed to killing Jasmine, his statements contained numerous implications that would lead anyone to believe that he would be responsible for her death. Ryan's family and friends later expressed their sorrow over Jasmine's murder, but they struggled to accept the idea that Ryan could be responsible for it. They believed he took his own life due to the overwhelming grief rather than guilt. Okay. Well, his family, ew. Okay, listen. This guy was already leaving to Canada, and no one had told him that Jasmine was found dead yet. He was just like, oh, she's not here. I don't know where she's at, but let me go to Nevada real quick and get my speedboat. I hate families like that. Like, I have kids, but I don't know if I could just stand by them as they commit murders and then defend them. There's way too much. These are amazing, by the way. Sprouts. There's too much evidence showing that he did this. And the way he took himself out, it absolutely was because he killed her. So it is what it is. However, Jasmine's mother found some solace in knowing that his suicide would spare their family the distress of actually being in the courtroom. So she felt like, yeah, that sucks, but at least I don't have to see his face in court or the family, because I mean, I don't know, what a narcissist, but look at his family. And that's the story of Jasmine Fiore's murder. If you have any true crime stories you'd like me to explore, please share them with me in the comments or connect with me on Instagram at slayingwithsantos. And remember to join me every week as I illuminate the darkness, one true crime story at a time. Adios.